record, and we will dive right in and get things kicked off here for the day. So I'm fired up to be able to run TLA this week. We only had 1 week where we didn't. I wasn't running that TLA prep. And thank you. A special shout out to Rochelle and Jess for leading that for us last week as our managers were at SLC. But I'm excited to dive in a little bit here with you guys today. And I'm more fired up than I've ever been. And we just came off of what was a really phenomenal SLC, or Strategic Leadership Conference event, which, you all have been to conferences and events before as sales reps, and we also have our own conferences and events as managers. And this is really the premier, or was the premier event that our company does each and every single year. And coming off that event, we had a divisional staff meeting with all of your district managers this past Tuesday. And one of the things that I shared with them is not that I needed any more conviction in our opportunity, but I definitely have some more coming off of it. It's great to hear from our executives and our CEOs and really get an idea of the future. Cool. Let me make a couple co-hosts here so they can help me. Boom, I'm gonna make a co-host. Let's make Adrian. I just made you co-host. And Audrey, I'm making you co-host. All right, cool. I am more fired up and more convicted in the opportunity for a couple different reasons. Number one, I'm more convicted in the opportunity that we have for sales representatives. And, a lot of you all know some of the changes that happened to our company when March came around and the great old COVID-19 struck us all. With that, a lot of things changed and improved or changed in one way or another. And at the beginning of the year, in January, when things were operating kind of as they've operated for so many years, if you asked me back then to talk about the sales rep position, I firmly believe that the opportunity that people have as sales reps here at Vector Marketing is one of, if not the best, opportunity for students to work and gain experience and make great money while doing it during and throughout, their college years. We used to promote the flexibility of the job, the experience that you get, the high levels of income. And I want to tell you guys that the sales rep opportunity, it's really better than it's ever been. And a lot of you all don't know anything different from it, but it really is the job. By the way, the job that we used to promote as one of the most flexible jobs that you could possibly have as a college student is 2 or 3 times more flexible. There is no going to a physical office to have to make all your phone calls, to be there 2 or 3 times a week for meetings. There's no driving 30 minutes to your appointments. There's no buying food and spending money on gas and doing all this other stuff to get to the appointments. The opportunity, I think, it's easier and more accessible to more people than ever before. It's easier and more convenient. It takes less time to get appointments done. There's more range and access to how many customers you can actually have. You're not bound to just one city or area. So the opportunities are bigger and better than before, and we have more success than we've ever had before. I think the skill set and the opportunity that people are able to have, to be honest, guys, back at certain points in times, the office that you started in really mattered a lot. If you were out in so-and-so city in Florida and the manager there wasn't that great, well, that was the only experience that you were going to ever get unless you drove down to Miami or to Tampa for a big conference that we had once or twice throughout the summertime. That's not the reality today. And the reality is that no matter where you are, inside of the division, outside of the division, you get a chance to get exposure to the other top performers, people that are crushing it, people that are doing well, other great leaders, and you get the chance to get not just the influence of one person, but the influence of our entire district manager team, our entire branch and leadership team, as well as influence from myself too, that, typically I see a lot of you all more than we would ever see in this virtual climate. And so it's really, really exciting to see where the future of the sales representative opportunity is, and really where the future of our management opportunities, I think, is where it gets the most exciting. In fact, I'm actually going to have Mike share a couple thoughts on that, moving forward, of really what's really exciting is what's happened this year, but what's more exciting is what's to come and what's the next future wave of the opportunity that we have inside of our company. And I think, and Mike will echo and share some of these similar thoughts, but I really think that our division, the Florida Coast Heat, We've talked about how many offices we want to put out next year, and going from, 4 offices to, almost 25 offices, and the idea of staffing the region, not only filling our entire division for the first time, but also being one of the premier divisions that's having our people share our best practices and programs and culture all across the entire region. And that simultaneously is a really, really exciting opportunity. But with great power comes great responsibility. And I think we really have a responsibility as a division team to really lead the way of what the future of our great company is going to be. And it's really, really exciting to see this. I think I had a conversation with Mike. To his point, I don't think people are going to be able to, like, people that worked with our company 2 years ago can't even recognize the company that we have today. It's changed so much. And I think the same thing is going to be true 2 years from now, 4 years from now, and 5 years from now. People that started this summer, are going to be like, it's a different company 2 or 3 years from now. And I think it's going to be different for the better. So a lot of exciting moves and things that are happening. And I want to be able to welcome you all and kick off our Wednesday TLA session here too, as we get ready and amped up for what will be the CTC push coming up here in just a little bit too. So if it's your first time, I know we have a couple guests that are hopping on here today. This is the Leadership Academy. And if you're a part of this group, or if you're a guest, what we really focus on inside of TLA is helping equip our people and giving them the skill sets to management skills, giving them leadership skills. And I'm going to talk about today the idea and concept, the education portion of today is going to be about how to sell yourself. And really, in my opinion, there's 2 fundamental skills that you need in business and life. And we're going to talk about those a little bit more. But what we teach in TLA is the ability and how to manage really your time, how to manage money, how to manage energy, which was a big topic we hit on the last prep, how to manage people and how to manage self. I've been getting a lot of different texts about money here recently, which is really, really exciting. I had a couple conversations with people today asking about the $100 rule. We have people, adding into withholdings. Anthony Marino just added another $2,000 withholdings. Taylor added just another 7.5K to withholdings to get her to that 10 grand mark. Lots of people making big moves with withholdings, and it's exciting to see people, choosing to pay themselves first and put away money into savings. And then for other people, I've got some people in our division that are already pretty maxed out on withholdings. They've already got 10 grand withholdings, and they're like, all right, well, what do I do with all this extra money? And they're starting to learn how to invest and grow that money. And it's been exciting to be able to partner up with, if you haven't gotten it already, my honey, Rachel Richards, and have her help lead our division and really give you guys access to people and education materials that I, quite frankly, it blows my mind that it's not taught in school. But it is taught here, and I'm happy that you guys are able to get that growth while you're here. It's been exciting to see some of the vector train moments that have been coming up as you've been continuing on. And I think the further you go into TLA, the more of these moments are going to continue to have, where it's like you're going to be learning something in class, you're having a conversation with mom and dad, you're out and about, and something that you've already learned or developed or practiced as a skill set is going to be able to come in handy. And I'm excited to be able to see and continue to hear those as they continue. So quick reminders. I've sent quite a bit of updates into the TLA chat recently. And I know sometimes those longer posts that I send, they have a crap ton of emojis and a lot of blocks. And sometimes it's like, I try to make it as simple as possible, and it can still be like a lot to read and walk through. So I encourage you to still actually read those when I send them out, so you're in the loop. But I want to make sure real quickly, we have the next TLA prep coming up, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday on October 24th. So I want to give you guys, and this is just going to be a good reminder for anyone that's confused on any assignments, has a good direction, but not really sure where to submit them or how to submit them or any of that stuff. I'm going to spend 5 minutes real quickly walking you all through anything and everything that's due and that you need to get done between now and then, and making it very, very simple for you all to so you're on the same page with what's due and when the assignments are. So SLC is over. By the way, our fall cruising contest is still going on. In fact, there's 2 more days left of that contest here. So I'm going to share some of the standings of that shortly. TLA prep number 3 is coming up on October 24th. And then a couple days later, the Capture the Cup push begins. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more. That's one of the main topics on today's call. And of course, our fall classic, which is basically going to be TLA prep number 4 event on November 14th. is also coming up here as well. And there'll be a little bit of our own divisional thing that we'll do outside of that regional event. So let me walk you guys and remind you all of a couple assignments that will be due here before the next upcoming prep. Number one, this is really old news, but all NLG, by the way, I haven't reached out to you, and you know who you are if you're on this call. Actually, I did reach out to you. Some of you all still had, like, there's only a couple, like maybe one or two. And if that's you, you know who you are. I'm not going to keep chasing you down to get the assignments for NLG. In fact, by the way, if you're in that group and I'm like still chasing you down to get in the same assignments or to send me the debriefs, I'm going to just take you out of that NLG group too. So I don't have time as a division manager to be tracking down, especially our next level group, to get assignments in. But Edge plans should have been turned in. It's well overdue. That was a couple weeks ago. Things to pay attention to is, number one, just adding to startup and startup deadlines. So as of this upcoming prep, every single person in TLA should be at $1,000 in withholdings. So if you're not at $1,000 in withholdings by this upcoming TLA prep, you're off pace for the normal TLA savings standard. So I want to make sure that you guys are in the clear with that. If you are on branch manager pace, the goal is to always be 2 levels ahead. So you really should be close around, if you want to be a serious BM candidate, you should be closer to $2,000 and probably a little bit higher if you want to be a DMC or a district manager candidate. So pay attention to that. And also letters of intent are certainly rolling in. We've received a couple more here in the past few days. I recognized in the group chat earlier last week, we received letters of intent from Anthony Ramirez for as a previous assistant manager. Now got his branch manager letter of intent in. So props to you. Jonathan Castell has submitted his letter of intent for pilot sales manager in 2021. So props to him too. And now it's, guys, it's time to go out there and get them accepted. And there's a couple more that have been rolling in that I'll recognize here shortly. Money Honey assignments, again, already past due, is to turn in your savings goal, which was due like a couple days after the last prep. So you can go on the Money Honey website, which she's probably sending you emails every single week. If you don't know what that is, check her email. Go on there. If you haven't submitted the savings goal by the end of the year, you can do that. And then this one is due, the Money Honey due dates are not attached specifically to the preps, but they're pretty similar. So this is her own due date that she has set in stone for us. I would just do it by the next prep. Sorry, this is the actual savings goal. The other one that's coming up, which is going to be due a couple days after that prep, is getting the spreadsheet downloaded with your actual expenses here too. So it's not due by the 24th, but it will be due a couple days after that. So you can go online to Money Honey and check that out. The most important assignments that are due coming up here pretty shortly, and I'll go ahead and send those into the group chat. Number one is the post-interview video role play. So at the September 26th prep, or TLA prep number 2, we announced that that we were going to have each person run 2 post interviews in an office. And we quickly retracted that just because there's a lot of you all and only so many interviews. And it just quite frankly is not possible to hold you all accountable to doing that, because not everyone's going to have an opportunity to do some live post interviews in an office. But what everyone's going to be required to do before the next prep, and it will be due by Friday, so not on Saturday, but it needs to be uploaded and submitted by Friday at the next TLA prep, is to record a video of yourself doing the post interview. That means you can have the script out in front of you, you can have it on your computer. An easy way to record, you can use Photo Booth, you can hop on Zoom and just record it on Zoom, and then take that video and you need to upload it to YouTube. I know that's a little bit of a couple steps in a process, by the way, but these are good things for you to know, because guess what? All the managers do this all the time. We're always creating videos, creating content, uploading them to YouTube. And if you want to be a branch or district candidate, it's good that you know how to be able to take content, download it, upload it to YouTube, and get it there. Now, here's what's important is I will send this into the group chat right now, along with a couple different things. So this is sending in 3, 2, 1. You guys should have it here right now, okay? This is the spreadsheet that you will fill out to actually put your link on. So once I have taken a recorded video myself, it should just be about an 8-minute long video. You could do a live one if you're doing live interviews, or you can partner up with a role play partner. So you need to reach out to somebody else in TLA. You do not need to do a Zoom interview with them. It can just be a phone call, because that's traditionally how we do most post interviews, by the way, is by phone call. So it can literally just be a video of you talking to somebody on the phone, put them on speaker, and you just do the post interview and do it to the best of your abilities. And then you will come over to the spreadsheet once you have it uploaded. And all you'll do is you'll put your name right there and you'll take that, copy and paste your video link right there. The managers, we will go back through at the end and give you guys some grades and some scores. And this will be your first drill for skill grade and score. So this will affect everybody's matrix score. It's one of the first things that we'll be looking at. If you want advice or perspective on how to do one, again, the last TLA prep is recorded, so you can go back and rewatch Eddie's messages, as well as Eddie has a bunch of videos on him doing post interviews and training people as well. So if you need any help or support, talk to your managers or go check out those YouTube videos. But by next Friday, this should be full of our TLA candidates' names and all the video links for their individual interviews here as well. So that's assignment number 1 for this upcoming TLA prep. The second assignment is to go back to the book club. And this is a longer book. So for those of you guys that, have been waiting and delayed and you haven't started this book yet, like, you've got some work to do before the next Saturday TLA prep. It is not the 1 Minute Manager. It is not a 1 minute book. This is about 6 hours of audio, which, by the way, 6 hours of audio over 5 to 6 weeks is like, listen to it an hour a week. You can do while you're driving, while you're like working out, while you're doing literally anything, listen to the book and be able to take notes. But if you haven't done it, like, procrastination hurts, and you've got a little bit more to listen to and sit down and actually go through, or pick up the book and read it as well. But those will be due, again, by Friday, the day before TLA prep. So, only about 10 days out from now, how to win friends and influence people. It's been really exciting. I know some people, special shout out to Gabriel. I know he's already been posting some of his notes and takeaways in the group chat. So make sure you have those. Now, the way that we are checking the assignment, okay, you can email your notes, but everybody needs to fill out the Google form for this actual assignment. So I will go ahead and forward both of these. Oops, this is the wrong one. I'll just go ahead and stop sharing my screen real quick. I will go ahead and forward both of these real quickly. So again, I'm going to send the link to the audio and the PDF version, okay, of the actual book into the Florida Coast TLA chat right now. So you guys have both the PDF version that just got sent into there, and then what is actually due. There is a form that you need to fill out, and this will have a Google form anytime we have a book or a reading, and it's pretty simple to do. Again, you might take notes on a separate document and you can email them to me, and always copy your district manager whenever you email me anything. But you just put your name here, just check off that you did the assignment. You can, put any big light bulbs here, and you can submit your notes via email or copy and paste it, into the box below. I don't really think copy and pasting it is going to work too well for this book. You can do that just to show that you did it, or you can just go ahead and email it over to us. But this is the form that we'll be checking to make sure you fill them out, and we'll be reviewing the corresponding notes and emails too. So everyone give me a thumbs up if those two are clear, the book assignment and post interview. Cool. And if it's not, talk to a friend. They will get you the help that you need. Last thing that's on the radar, okay, is that Olean push PCs, or our Capture the Cup push PCs, which we're going to be talking about tonight. Those are due the day after prep. For anyone that's in TLA, your PCs need to be finished by that date. So some of you all really should start, you're going to want to set up a one-on-one time to debrief SLC and touch base with your managers like this weekend. I would say the absolute latest though, like Sunday is like if everyone waits till Sunday to get a PC with their manager, a lot of you are going to miss this deadline, miss this assignment. So, majority, I'd say 80% of TLA should have already completed their push PCs by the 24th prep. The Sunday, the 25th, is like the straggler day. It's like the day for people that, maybe just had a busy schedule and weren't able to link up with their district manager quite yet. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit more here, but we have a group chat that will be created across the division specifically for this alliance that we will allow non-TLA members to join into that group chat, just like we did during the summertime, almost our gunner chat, if you will, across the division that will facilitate for this actual alliance here. Those are the only assignments that are due before this upcoming prep. Two other announcements that I want to make sure that we have just on the admin side of things, okay, is number one, this is already past due. This was supposed to be done last Wednesday. So I'm pretty sure almost every single person in TLA has done this, and there's only a couple of you that have not. But that's the SLC debrief form, which again was just forwarded into the group chat. So if you go to this Google form that was just sent out, it is an opportunity to debrief your own push. And this is less for your manager and more for you, because we're about to enter what is the biggest push of the fall campaign. This is the SE2 of the fall. We just had the SE1, you know, and I'll get into it in a second, guys. But look, it's okay to have a bad push. And I want you to hear that from me too, that like, it's okay to not have a superb push performance or to not be a top performer for one push. It is not okay to have that happen twice. Okay. It is okay if you didn't have that happen or didn't go the way that you wanted to. It's not okay to have two back-to-back bad pushes. If you had a terrible SE1 and a terrible SE2 push, then you wouldn't be on this call right now because you probably didn't get into TLA, you know? And so I think in honors of holding those standards accountable and keeping people on those standards, I think it's going to be really, really important. I think we did really, really well as a division. By the way, if you didn't hear from my video last Wednesday, you all were the #1 division in the company last week going into SLC. #1 new business division in the company in sales. So you can give your guys some snaps and claps, some gangster daps for that. By the way, that's actually the first time I think all year round. We've had some high performing weeks. That's the first time we've been the #1 division in the company. And we did that with 4 offices, by the way. 4 offices, and there's other offices. We beat, you know, every division in the company, including the ones that have 10 and 12 offices actively running right now. And that's great. But think about this for a second. We did that, and in my honest opinion, I thought our performance for SLC was pretty underwhelming. I thought there's a couple people on this call that you guys really stepped up and crushed it, and you've probably already heard from me if you did. But overall, the pound for pound performance from not like our teams did well. We had a lot of reps step up, but our TLA class did not do well, and I don't think did not perform at a high level. And so I think it's important that we readdress those standards. Where I'm going with this is, again, go back to that debrief sheet. This is for you, not for your managers. You know, results measured is results gained. If you don't debrief and take the time to say, hey, what did I do well? What did I not do well? What can I be changing for the future? And how do I make this upcoming push different than the previous push? Then you're going to have the exact same results that you had in the last one. So again, if you haven't filled out that form yet, it's already overdue. So please take some time to go ahead and fill that guy out. And the last admin announcement that I have for you all is a lot of you all announced in our last TLA prep that we have a CSP mentorship opportunity. This is literally a program that is exclusive to our division. No one else in the company outside of one other division in the entire company has access to this. Just so you know, you're not able or allowed or eligible to do a CSP mentorship unless you're at 100K in career sales, which would completely eliminate 99% of you all from being able to have access to any of this stuff. I have gotten a special agreement from the CEO of our company, from Scott, and from some people on our CSP team to be able to set up a program for representatives that are over 20K in sales and are looking to perform at a high level in the fall to get specific and special CSP mentorship. Now, here's the deal. We need actual candidates that are serious about this. Also, if you're getting a mentor-mentee relationship works 2 ways. It's just like hiring a coach. It only goes as far as both parties are committed. The more committed that you are, the better off that you're going to get that. So I think it's important, like, hey, if you're not really that committed, if you got a crazy school schedule, if you're struggling to, perform, then I wouldn't fill it out right now. It's probably not the best idea. But if you have a lighter school load, if you're looking to put up some big numbers in the fall, I'd highly recommend taking it some time to fill out that application because we will be doing and conducting interviews here for that pretty shortly. And we'll be selecting the people that will be on that squad Really, really easy opportunity to get around and be surrounded by other, like you'll be on calls specifically with only the other people that have been selected as part of this program. You'll get one-on-one calls with Ray Reed, who, is one of probably the most elite salespeople in the Eastern region right now as a CSP. And you guys will have access to a lot of that exposure. So highly recommend it. I'm going to send that application into the TLA chat right now. So you have that, the Florida Coast Elite Mentoring Opportunity. So if that's something that you're interested in, I would recommend filling that out here today. Last few things in terms of admin stuff before we dive into a little bit of the message and topic here for today. Here's our current fall cruise and contest standings. So this is from 8/28 to 10/16. So we got 2 more days left. I think we have Thursday and Friday to finish off and hit this thing. You have to be, this is just for PRs. So you actually have till 10/19. So you have till the end of the week on Monday, my bad, 5 days to be able to make this happen. So this is the last sales week that it's going to count for this contest. Here's the current standing. So shout out to Victoria, who is now already at $16,000 in sales during this time period in contest. So she's leading the way right now and has already hit that contest. So we'll see you on the boat. Dylan Fitz, Ray Reed, let's see, Jamie King. These are CSPs, so they don't really count that much. Anthony, you're in swinging distance, man, $400 away. We'll see you there, I assume. Nicole Reed's right here. And then, we have a bunch of people down here. Now, here's what I want to just, again, actually, I'll come back to that. Let me do some quick recognition. Zabet, Taylor Max, and then this other page, and anyone that's over 3K in credit. So with the strong move, a lot of you all that are on this list right now could be making moves and be on that trip here with us. What I do want to mention, guys, though, is that if you look at this sheet, it is also combined with Florida Caribbean standings because they're doing the exact same contest as we are. And it's pretty sad to see way more, like, especially if you take off our CSPs. Take off Ray Reed, take off Dylan, take off Jamie, okay? This list is overwhelmingly Florida Caribbean. Like overwhelmingly. In fact, 80%, if you take off all of our CSPs, and by the way, most of theirs are not CSPs, 80% of this list on the front page is Florida Caribbean. That means that the majority of their sales reps are way outperforming our team and our sales reps. And I don't think that really is a true testament to the quality and the training and the skill set level that our team has versus, something like Florida Caribbean. So contest is going to be ending soon, but I think it's just an opportunity. And I'll just tell you guys this is like, hey, for radar points, like if your name's on this list, look at these dates. If your name's not on this list, that means, 3K in sales. That means 3K in sales between 8/31 and 10/19. And if your name's not on this list, by the way, and the worst thing about it too, is that you get 1 PR, like 1K for PR credit. So that means in, I don't know, however, 9 weeks, the past 9 weeks, like 2 months and a week, you have, if you're not named on this list, you have failed to sell $3,000 over 9 weeks, which is an average of like $200 a week, or just even get a PR on the team. Like you've done very little to contribute to your office or your organization. Because even if you sold $2,000 and you got a PR on the team, you'd be on this list here as well. So, and I just want to give this not to make anyone feel bad if you're not on this list, but an area of opportunity if you're not. I think as we go into some of the biggest times of the year here. So I'm going to skip over a little bit of this stuff. Last things that I want to kind of let you know is SLC is over and the Fall Classic event is coming up. This is look, SLC was an event for managers. It was kind of, it's kind of sad because you all don't get to actually participate or be a part of it. But the Fall Classic is like the one event of the fall that we have that it's going to be jam-packed and a high-powered event. Think like SC2 during the summertime. But there's a portion for our TLA. There's a portion for our managers. There's a portion for our CSPs. There's a portion for brand new reps that started this fall. And it's going to be a jam-packed and powerful event. This is our TLA Prep number 4, by the way. So as part of this, at the end of the day today, I am going to go ahead and sign up. If you are in TLA, we are going to automatically sign you up for a Fall Classic, as I assume you would be there for TLA Prep number 4. And again, it's on November 14th, which everyone has had these dates now for months. So we're going to sign up everyone, just at least if you're in TLA, automatically tonight. If for any reason I shouldn't sign you up, or there's something, or you have some conflict, or we need to make agreement, make sure you reach out to me one-on-one tonight so we can get that taken care of. And I'll make sure I correspond it to your respective manager here too. So let me go ahead and post this up here. I do want to take a quick second before I dive into some of the content that I want to teach tonight. I want to turn things over to some of our district managers, specifically Mike, and have him just share with you all a little bit. We had a great conversation in our staff meeting, and I thought it would be a good fit to have, a lot of you all, especially this is for like people of the Mason Linkers of the world, people that have been Jonathan Castell, Adrian's, like you guys have been here, through TLA more than 1 or 2 rounds. And it's very, very easy, I think, to get kind of complacent with where things are and expect the same things. But we really are an ever changing and growing, evolving business. And just like, the world is changing at a faster pace. By the way, the world is literally spinning faster and faster every single year, if you didn't know that. And things are moving faster. Technology is growing at a more exponential rate. So is our company. And so are a lot of companies. Things are changing faster than they were before. And with that, I think it's important to know, like, a lot of us know the opportunity that we have here. But, I want you also to be thinking about, like, what does that opportunity look like a couple of years from now? And I wanted to have Mike take a couple of seconds and kind of share some thoughts as we kick things off today.
Well, I appreciate that. And I guess I get a couple seconds. I thought I was going to have 25 minutes, but no, I'm just kidding. So,
got all the time you need, Mike.
Here's a couple things. Let me just give some framework here. Framework number 1. I just went to Austin, Texas for a retreat, and I did not know who was going to be at this retreat. I spent, a couple grand or whatever it was to go, and it ended up being 20 district managers out of the 35 participants that were there and attendees. And this is coming off my SLC talk, and they were like blown away. It was really cool, like, all the clout and everything. But what was most exciting about these individuals is that they had a feeling of hope, of change. Like, they're like, wow, like, we're waiting for the scripts to come to us, because that's how Vector has always been. It's like, here's the script for the interview. Here's the script for training. Here's the script for your demo. Here's the script for your phone calls. Here's your script for PR calls. So it's like, there's scripts for everything. So these new, hungry, eager DMs that are doing well, like, there was one kid, he came up to me, he said, I'm kind of fanboying right now. He's like, I watch all your YouTube videos, and my office last year, my first 8 months, we did $150,000. And this year we're over $500,000. And it's because I was willing to evolve with you. So as you were evolving the business, I'm just following a few steps behind what's next. And he's like picking my brain on what's next. And I'm showing him a little bit about what's next. And that's what I wanted to share with you. What is next for the Vector manager of the next several years? Because it's not the Vector manager that it was in the past. First off, number 1, if you're taking any notes or if you care, number 1, the DM opportunity is a CEO opportunity. It is a CEO opportunity. And what I mean by a CEO opportunity is a CEO does not operate the business. The CEO operates the systems that drive the business. So the future of being a manager in Vector is leading through people and leading through systems. That's number 1. So therefore, what does a Vector manager do in the future? Is we need to build out systems and we need to develop people. How do we do that? So here's what the Vector manager of the future does. Number 1, we are going to recruit recruiters, meaning that starting at the very top, we need to be able to recruit and enroll social media recruiting assistants, recruiters. So we need a better title for that. So if you're creative and you have something good, let me know. But an SMRA sourcer is what I'm calling them. And it sucks. The title is awful, but someone who sources SMRAs. So I have a team of people that source SMRAs if I'm a new manager. Then that team of people sourcing SMRAs are then getting those SMRAs to set up people for interviews. So those SMRAs are now scouting talent to go find reps to go sell Cutco. So now I have scouted talent to find reps to recruit for Cutco. Then I have these people that feed me phone numbers. So now I have phone numbers. Cool. Well, I'm only a one-person show. If I want to lead through people, I want to lead through systems, what am I going to do? I was talking to Andrew, what would it look like if we had a call center of PR callers that anyone could have access to? If there's let's say there's a WhatsApp group and says, hey, I'm a manager in, Sarasota, and I need 20 extra hours of PR coverage this week. Who could use some hours? Me, boom, reach out to them. Cool. And there's already on call, on demand PR callers to help you fuel your business. So you call your best ones, they call the rest, and the rest gets a text to schedule approach. That's number one. Then we're going to do an interview. By the time you run interviews, they're probably going to be a video recording of someone running an interview. More than likely, it's on deck. I can't speak to that 100%, but more than likely that might happen. And if it doesn't happen, no big deal. It's a 30-minute conversation that you have with your new up-and-coming recruits that you get to bring into your environment. Then there's a post-interview. What happens with a post-interview? Well, same thing. I got to scale it. If I have 47 people set for an interview, I got 25 people to run a post-interview for. Same thing. We have a post-interview on-demand call center for our division. This is what I believe is the future of our business. Post the drop a chat in the WhatsApp chat. Hey, I got 27 people that need a post-interview. Who's available? Me. Reach out. Cool. Get them on board, and they run post-interviews for your office. Boom. So what does a vector manager do? They got to help us. They got to be a part of building out the systems to have this call center for PRs and this call center for post interviews, and to help us with the infrastructure of building that out on the front end of recruiting. Then we have training. Well, what do you got to do for training? The new district manager is not running training. Myself, Andrew, the senior managers are running training. So what do you need to do? You need to learn maybe 1 or 2 talks that you can give and rock those talks. And the rest of the time, while training's going on, you're reaching out to your reps, texting them, checking in, voice memos, doing some PCs. That's what you're doing. You're driving, you're coaching, you're influencing behaviors, influencing the way they think. You're coaching them, developing them. You're taking them through a life cycle of a system to help them become the next PR callers, the next SMRAs, the next post interviewers, so we can home grow and develop more people that know how to call PRs, know how to run interviews, know how to do all this. So what happens? What happens to our TLA? All of our TLA, imagine every one of our TLA candidates know how to run interviews, know how to run PRs, do post interviews, and they were paid to do it while they were also selling Cutco. What is our TLA program? What does our branch class look like when they've already done all aspects of the business, and TLA is literally teaching them how to think and act like a coach, and how to think and act like a CEO. So when they run a business, they are running a business through systems and through leading people. Oh, you're interested in profits? Well, the new DM profit model, there's no office space. It's very minimal expense. There's no rope. There's no leather. There's no blue books. There's no sample kits. They're literally, the expense is so minimal. On top of that, oh, you don't like spreadsheet work? Great. Every manager is going to have access to a team of virtual assistants that do all of our admin, do all of our spreadsheet management. So that way I could just look at the numbers versus collecting and inputting the numbers, so I can just drive my business like a CEO. The 3-year model profits is over $200,000 for a new DM in their first 3 summers. $200,000 in profits in their first 3 summers being mediocre. It's $150,000 to a $250,000 type of district manager for their first 2 years. 3rd year, they jump up to a $350,000 summer. A CEO district manager like myself, annual projected profits of pumping out more district managers, pumping out branches through the TLA is CEO level type of money. $300,000, $400,000. There's no room for DVMs. You want to be a DVM? Great. Be a DM CEO. DVM's great. It's awesome. It's maybe you'll take Andrew's job when he becomes the next big swinging guy of the future. Maybe that opportunity opens down the road, but we don't have to wait. We can create that as DM CEOs. My wife's company, the CEO, makes the same amount that I make. Well, that I will make next year. So if you think from the past of what was always been or what you've always known, you got to flip the switch. If you're on TLA right now, you are the future developers of these systems. You are the coaches and the leaders of these future members of our teams. We can all build this out together. There's 47 of us on here. The Vector Marketing Future Manager is counting on us to figure this shit out. And as long as you're willing to evolve, as long as you're willing to play, as long as you're willing to be a part of this, as long as you're willing to help us build out this infrastructure, as long as you're willing to learn, as long as you're hungry, as long as you're willing to change, not only are you going to make a shit ton of money, you're literally going to revolutionize our great company from where we are to where we're going. And the next 10 years are on our shoulders, or we could just wait for someone else to figure out the script and hand it to us. But I'm not waiting for shit, and neither is Andrew. We're ready to build this thing out. We're building out with or without you, but we'd love to do it with you. So that's my passionate. I didn't even look at my journal, but I have it all written in my journal. But I didn't even have to look at it because I'm fucking reading this thing all the time, man. I can't wait. I'm just so fired up. I don't have to do this shit. I could wait. No way. I'm vector trained. I don't fucking wait. Sorry for cursing. I'm passionate. Back to you, Andrew.
Oh man, I love it, Mike. And by the way, I want quick context for everybody to know. I think Mike offered some really strong thoughts, and I just want to reaffirm too how awesome it is to have a veteran district manager like Mike Abramowitz sitting at this table and being able to be here on our calls. Like, you all, I don't think Mike's kind of like dumbing it down a little bit too. But if you guys didn't notice, like he went to an event and people are like fanboying and fangirling over him because they want like they are other managers across the company that were just like, oh my gosh, it's Mike Abramowitz. Like, he's real. Like, I'm meeting him in person right now. Like, I've been watching all his videos, consuming all of his stuff. And Mike gave, what I'm biased, but, I thought was one of the best messages of SLC. And so did a lot of our executives. Mike, like I said, is a really phenomenal leader inside of our division. And I also want to just kind of give a quick plug of like, hey, sometimes you don't really realize how good you have it at the home until you leave the home. I always remember growing up in my hometown, I always wanted to get the hell out. And then I traveled the rest of the world and I was like, this place is pretty nice. I like Jupiter. I realized, you don't really realize what you got until sometimes you go other places too. So a lot of you guys have had that opportunity, Mike, but between Mike and Alex Arias and Eddie De Las Cuevas and the rest of our district team and table, like, use these people and take them to your advantage, because I really do believe we have pound for pound one of the best district manager teams in the country, and it's only getting bigger and better.
Well, last point, I promise. Last point, and then you could go. When I said 3 years is because I'm assuming if someone is graduates from college, let's say they're 21, 22, or they realize college is not the path for them, then they'll be, they'll be 19, 20, whatever. And they do this DM CEO model for 3 years. They're still between the ages of like 22 to 25. My philosophy to help all of you understand is life is not over at 30. There are several of you laughing right now because there's a piece of you that thinks life ends at 30 years old. You're like, I got to do all this shit before I'm 30, because if I don't do it before I'm 30, I die, or the world explodes or something. Like 30 is old as shit. I'm telling you right now, the decisions you make and the fundamental foundation decisions is not about getting rich. It's not about becoming wealthy right now. It's about foundation right now. And if you could build a foundation to learn and earn and put your money to work for you, not go travel the fucking world, that's Instagram bullshit. I'm talking about put $100 grand away that is set aside, that is working for you and is bringing you dividends, that is making you money. So that way, when you go be that doctor, you have your money saved from your vector days because you set it aside and put it to work for you. I'm not saying don't spend money on education, but I'm saying is make sure you save money and invest it and put it to work. So when you go to work, when you're 25, 30, 35 years old, you're working for your purpose and your money is working for money. And let your DM CEO opportunity be your opportunity to make the money now before 25, and then go do your big boy jobs, feeding your passion, doing the things you want to do, your causes in life. So that way, when you're 40, the $100 grand you put aside before you were 25 has now grown exponentially, and now it's $500,000. So that way, when you're 50, it's $1 million. So when you're your parents' age, you have $1 million that can pay you a 4% dividend, and you are literally getting paid $4,000 a month because of the money you set aside before 25 years old. But no one in fucking college is teaching this. And that's what bothers me, if you can't tell. That's why TLA is so important. That's why this opportunity that we have here is so important. For you to learn this stuff, get exposed to this stuff. You exchange your time for money right now to go work for the man or go work for the mall or go flip some freaking burgers or go fold some shirts. You're out of your damn mind. You need to work for you, and you need to find a way to sell the knives, to make money, put the money to work. Find a way to learn and think like a CEO, develop systems, develop people, put more people to work. So when you're 25, you can go fuel your passions. When you're 30, 40, you could be a healthy dad CEO, which is my new identity I've owned. The healthy dad CEO. Travel when I want to travel, lead when I want to lead, work when I want to work. That fires me the hell up. All right, back to you, Andrew. Sorry, bro. I'm fired up.
I love it. I think everyone can feel the fire from over here. And, just echoing a couple different things too that Mike said is I just, your life doesn't, most of y'all, like, your lives get started at 30, not end at 30. Most people, if you look at and yes, there are the Steve Jobs and the Bill Gates of the world that started a company when they were 18 years old or 17, and that became, the Goliath that it is today. But, when you look at really, really successful people and what they became successful off of, most of them, 90% plus, started those businesses, those passion projects, those things that they were known for and left a legacy. They all started them after the age of 30. But what people don't talk about is what they did before the age of 30 that allowed them to successfully start that or pursue that or execute that at a high level. And I think that's what's missed and what's not talked about too. So it's not about, becoming that person or doing that thing or finding your purpose or making $1 million this year today. It's about building the right skills and laying a foundation so you're able to do that. And when those things come around, you're the right person for the job. So a couple of things, and I want to make sure we're going to dive right in here today for a little bit of the message. And I also want to echo this too. I mean, I'm going to re-put this slide. I'm going to kind of skip over this, but some of you all might be going through this sometime. Friendly reminder, steps to attack D2. If you're going through midterms, exams, craziness, look at your circles of influence, go back to your planning and revisit your whys. It's always, every time I get a message about someone being stressed out, first question I usually ask is show me your planner. And 99% of the time, they don't have anything planned out. So I would always start there. That's just a friendly reminder. And like I mentioned, I want to make sure that my job as a division manager is really to protect our culture. And one thing I said to our district managers earlier this past Tuesday is I said, hey, it's easy to have great culture when we have 4 district managers on our table. When we have a bunch of brand new managers, if we're adding on 20 new managers, that group is now the minority. The new group is the majority. And so it's really important. It's my job as a leader to be recognizing people when things are in line with our standards, and also to be calling things out when things are not in line with our culture or standards of what we want to build here. And I think anchor number 1 of having a high performance mindset is important to bring some attention to as we enter into the SC2 of the fall. Like I mentioned earlier, it is okay to have a bad push. It really is, but it's not okay to have 2 bad pushes in a row. It's okay to have a weaker SLC, but it's not okay to go out there and do the exact same thing, again. So I want to give you guys some keys today. And for this, I would get number 1, your planners out, any notes that you need out, and get some kind of things in front of you so you can have some direction as we go into today. And I want to give you guys some keys on how to make this push different than the last one. And that's, some of you all need to just duplicate what you did last time, and just do that again. It was great. Most of you all need to make this push a lot different than you treated the last one. And when I say different, I want to also clear the air here, because different and making the push meaningful is different for every single person. That's why you need to do your own debrief, because some of you all, you hear this and you're like, Andrew, my school schedule is busier during this time. I have midterms and finals than it was during SLC. There's no way I can do more, for this. And I'm not necessarily saying, hey, you need to step up and work harder. Although, by the way, some of you all you need to step up and work a hell of a lot harder for this push. Like you need to actually like wake up early on time and like treat it like an actual push. Some of you worked hard, but you weren't well planned out. You didn't have a real good game plan, you know. The job's flexible, you know, you can create your own schedule, but you still need a schedule. You know, you don't succeed by not having a schedule. Like the job is flexible and you can create your own, but you actually have to have a schedule. So maybe for some of you all, it's the planning. Some of you all, it's like, hey, maybe don't start trying to sell once the push starts. Maybe actually build some momentum. Some of you all got some great sales the last couple of days of the push after 2 weeks of not having much happen. That's because you started to build momentum up, right? So like maybe start building that momentum earlier. Maybe it's sending Facebook messages now so you have some of your better customers and clients and they're already rolling through with some fresh recommendations once the actual push starts. Maybe thinking differently and thinking smarter for this push is, you know, making a list of every single person that you know that owns a business, because almost all of them are going to buy some sort of gifts for their employees or for their clientele base. And they're going to be crappy gifts more likely than not that no one's going to want to use and they're not going to remember. And a year later, it's just going to be extra expense. So maybe it's going back to all of your old customers and saying, who do I know that owns a business or buys gifts for the holidays for lots of different people, and seeing how many business gift orders can I get, and can I start kind of having conversations with people so I have some larger orders that are already coming in, you know, during the push. Can I lock in a $3 or $4 grand order that's already set up before the push even gets started and ready to rock and roll here? I know some of you guys are already working on doing that. But I want to think about the setup and preparation. Albert Einstein said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Okay. And so if you're going into this push like, okay, yeah, all right, Andrew, I got it. I'm going to try harder on this one. You're not going to perform. Okay. If you do the same thing that you did to execute the last push, you're not going to have the results that you want, unless you had the results that you wanted in the last push. And then great, do it again, you know. But for a lot of you all, you need to change up what you did. And a lot of times, again, I'm not saying to work harder, although some of you all, you need to work a lot damn harder. You need to have a higher performance mindset. You need to start leading the way. But a lot of you all, it's just, hey, working smarter, being more strategic going into it. It's actually putting mental energy 2 or 3 weeks out from the push about how you're going to accomplish your goals and tackle them. That's why we're talking about this. Like some of y'all are like, dude, didn't we just finish a push? We're already talking about the next one. Yes. Okay. Because I would rather you guys start thinking about and planning out your push now so that you can actually have a successful push. Because a lot of y'all on this call, I mean, you had some of the people on TLA had PCs like 3 days after the push started. You know, like it's how are you going to have a successful push when the push already started and you're still trying to figure out what your goal and your game plan is for it. It's not a formula for a very successful push. So, you know, having just the mental bandwidth and energy where you're thinking differently and thinking about how am I going to set this bad boy up? Because it's important. And this is where TLA decisions are made. This is where leaders start to emerge. By the way, at the November prep, this is when we separate our entire TLA class into 2 groups. A squad and B squad, aka the people that are on pace to be managers and the people that are not on pace. And this push for a lot of people is going to be an impacting factor in that too. So, you know, it really matters. And also, I'll just tell you guys right now, like I've never seen Scott Dennis like in my entire career, I've never seen this guy as fired up as he is. We never haven't gotten close as a region to tackling home the Silver Cup. And we really do have an opportunity to do that. But it's great if Scott's fired up. It's great if I'm fired up. It's great if our district manager's fired up. But that's cool and all, but that's not really who makes the magic happen. You know, we need every single representative up and down the Eastern Coast fired up to be able to take down what would be a really cool opportunity for our culture, from our camaraderie, and for the future of our region, is taking home our first Silver Cup as a region. And I know I'm fired up about that. So here's some couple quick things. I'm going to review some planning. Your managers are going to do some PCs with you all. And I would start to do some of these as I would debrief your SLC PC and just say, hey, what we did well there, what did we not do well, what do we need to do differently, and have some debrief time. And then your managers are going to have a document that they will send out to you all. And it will look a little bit something like this. You all have seen these before, kind of like you did for SLC. And this will be full blown, just like y'all remember at SE2. Style push setup. Okay. So I'll walk you all through this calendar real quickly so everyone else is just in the loop. And I would take a couple quick seconds to add in some of this stuff into your calendars right now. So first things first, okay, leading up to the 28th, I think about improving your skill set. A lot of y'all have been out of the loop. By the way, a lot of y'all haven't been out of the loop. There's an opportunity to improve your skill set. Okay. I promise there's some of you all that, if I even asked, actually, let me just ask, who can tell me what the objection cycle is right now? Raise your hand if you can confidently, if I call on you right now, you can tell me what the process is for handling objections, what the objection cycle is. All right. This is my point. This is the most elite group of sales representatives that we have in our division right now. And there is less than 4% of you all raise your hand and told me you know how to handle an objection. That's crazy to me. Okay. There's an opportunity for us to level up our skill set here. And it's easy to say like, oh, I already know how to do a great presentation. Well, do you? If you don't know how to handle objections, then you really don't know much about sales, in my opinion. Like, you might have some career sales, but like, I wouldn't say you know much about sales at all. If you went to another sales company, you don't know how to handle objections. Like, you might know how to sell Cutco. You don't know how to sell though yet. So I think there's an opportunity, and this is just going back to having a high performance mindset. Low performers say, oh, I already know this stuff. I've already done this stuff. I'm already pretty good. High performers say they're the best. They literally are better than everyone else. And they're like, how can I increase? How can I get better? How can I learn more? Like, how much, and I know we're talking about a lot of stuff in TLA is management based, but how can I get better and good at the Cutco sales presentation? Like, how much better can I get at it? And that's the challenge and mentality I want you guys to have. So leading up into the push, there are, again, going back to your calendars, 4 events. Okay. Tonight, all your team meetings, they will be talking about working on recommendations, right? And again, you might have heard a recommendation talk 20 times, but do you have 400 to 500 recommendations that are good recommendations and are easy to call? If you don't, then I don't think you're actually that good at recommendations as you think you are. You might have heard of the talks before, but it doesn't mean you're good at getting recommendations if you don't have a giant recommendation base. We're going to talk about building up your attack list for the push, handling objections the following Wednesday, and then we're going to talk about how to enter the push with 10 demos or more going into it. I think that's a big key and you guys all know this from SE2. SE2 is, hey, ride with 10, lead with 20 plus. For this one during the fall, and I want to remind you guys too, if you're only doing 5 demos a week right now, I don't think you need to go out and do 20 to 30 demos once the push starts. Like, if you're only doing 4 or 5 demos a week, shoot, just do 10 demos a week. That's a big jump, and I think that's impressive, and you'll experience significantly different results than you are right now. But arriving with 5, leaving with 10 from the very first phone jam, and the push itself starts on the 29th of October. So, it's about 2 weeks out and a couple of days here from now of when the actual push starts. So this is your time to hone your craft and work on your skill set. Every other day, by the way, we are going to have alliance workshops from 4 to 5 p.m. So on Saturdays, it'll be 9 to 10 a.m. But every other day will be from 4 to 5 o'clock. We'll have these alliance workshops. And what I want to go ahead and do, by the way, is we're 90% sure that we're going to go ahead and run these at these times. I would like to go ahead and take a quick poll, and you guys can see it pop up on your screen right now. There is the potential option of us running it from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on a morning basis, but I want to get a better sense of if you were going to add up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because some of y'all might have a conflict on Tuesday at 4 o'clock. You can't do it because you have class. But overall, if you're going to count all 5 days, which of those ones do you have, are you going to be able to make it to? And which ones are the ones are you going to be able to make more of them on a weekly basis if they're at those times? And by the way, also don't say 4 to 5 o'clock if you just don't want to wake up at 8 a.m. Okay. But put the ones that you are able to go into beforehand too. So take a quick second to fill that out while I finish. You guys like this, these little polls here? Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Take a quick second.
It's amazing.
Take a quick second to fill that out. All right, last 2 things for schedule because we had to get into some phone jam kickoffs in all your respective offices, okay? This document will be sent out to all of you all, but there'll be workshops every single day. We have CSPs across the entire region that will be speaking on these workshops. I will be running a lot of these alliance workshops, and just like SE2 style, when you do your PC with your manager, they're going to take a photo of you, take your spreadsheet, posting the goal. And it's not going to just be our TLA. It's going to be reps all across the division. And this is the first time they're truly going to get exposed to our divisional culture and what it means to be a part of the Florida Coast Heat. So I'm absolutely counting on this team to be leaders and leaders of the energy and leaders of the culture and setting the tone of what it means to be a part of a Florida Coast Heat push. Because quite frankly, I don't think the SLC push was a good example of that. And we're going to keep going. And there is so many damn contests that I will let your managers announce because of time-wise tonight in your team meetings that you guys don't even know. Some of the contests aren't even released yet. I got a DVM call today. I was like, we're giving away what? For what? I was like, it's like Scott Dennis is like literally like, all right, we got a silver cup to win. Let's just destroy the entire budget that we have for next year and just spend it all on the last couple months of the year to incentivize them because we got to win this silver cup. So I would take advantage of that while you can here. We're going to have the normal Wednesday phone jams, the Alliance workshops on a daily basis, and you're going to want to map out your own specific goals. And then leading up to the Fall Classic event, we'll have 2 big master order jams where you're calling in, closing business gifts, orders, holiday gifts. But I wouldn't wait till here to start working on some of those because, by the way, every business owner, by mid-November, they've already bought their holiday gifts. So I'd be careful not to wait till that to the very end. Fill these out, get your stats ready to rock and roll, and you'll have the actual schedules ready to made for your actual pushes here. So I'm going to wrap things up here for today. We got some phone jam kickoffs to hop into. Let's make this CTC push more meaningful than any other push that we've competed in and done as a division because, by the way, it is. Because this is the future of our division. These are the leaders, and this is setting the tone for what our division is going to do in 2021 and beyond. So have an awesome team meeting tonight, guys. Rock your phone jams, and we will bring you some more goods next week. Talk to y'all soon.